is better. And that's just basically your mind tells you your reality. So if you view everything in a positive light, then you're always going to be happy because there's nothing, negative coming into your world. So I definitely think happiness just comes from within, and it's you tell yourself when you're happy, but if you're never content with anything, and it's okay to still like have goals and want to be better, but if you're not content with who you are before anything else, then you won't be happy. So I think that's the key.
Right, definitely. And I also feel like kind of staying on your own path and not worrying about what other people are doing kind of to affect that. I feel like everyone is on their own journey and is accomplishing the things that they want to accomplish. So everyone accomplishes things at different times. And I think that someone's journey is not what mine will be, and our journeys will be completely different. I also think that staying present and within the moment is a major factor in this. Sometimes you can get anxiety or anxious feelings by kind of thinking too far ahead, especially during this pandemic. It can be very hard not to be anxious, but being grateful for all you have is so important. Realizing that it could always be worse, and being grateful for your family, for your friends who are there for you. That's really all that matters. And I think that being happy is so important. Everyone wants to be happy and reach that level. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think you're so right. I think what you just said, comparison is a thief of joy. It comes down to that. And before I moved for my job, my friends and I, we were all sitting in a living room and we were talking about what we were doing. And one of my friends who hadn't, accepted a job offer yet, she's like, I'm so behind, guys. And she's like, I'm behind. I don't have this. I don't have that. And she was getting really upset. And she wasn't focusing on what she did have. And the grass is always greener because we were all like, no, you have this and I don't have that. And then we start comparing, but everyone's on their own journey. Nobody's behind. Some people prioritize career and then the relationship comes. Some people have the relationship and then the career comes. So when you start looking through social media, especially, it's so easy to be like, oh my God, engagement, 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 or like boyfriend, 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 and then think, oh my God, I don't have that. I'm behind. You're not behind because everyone has their own things. And somebody might be looking at your posts and being like, oh my God, she has this and I don't have that. Or, oh my God, she's doing this and I don't do that. Yep. So that's why I also agree that comparison is definitely detrimental to happiness. It's something that I wish could be avoided, but it's human nature. Yeah. So definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and I actually spoke about something like that in one of my podcasts, just basically saying that everyone's going to want something that someone else has all the time, no matter what it is. Yep. And I think that is literally just nature, and it's just something that humans have to deal with. But I just think like when you do kind of understand that, it can be hard to understand that, definitely, because it's not an easy thing to grasp. In the moment, I feel like sometimes it's always easy to maybe overreact or think that something is more than it is. But I think that just like remaining like calm and just understanding the situation, all you have, can truly help with your happiness.
I agree 100%.
So what are some things that motivate you to set goals and achieve everything that you may desire?
So this, if anyone doesn't know what an Enneagram is, they need to go and take the Enneagram test right now to figure out what they are. But my roommate is super into Enneagrams, and when I moved in with her, she had me take an Enneagram test, and I found out that I was a type 3. And a type 3 Enneagram is an achiever, which made so much sense because I'm very self-motivated to achieve things, not for the sake of like what other people think, but because like I want to achieve them for my own personal satisfaction. That's just how I've always been. The type of person who takes on too much. I run because I love to see my time, I get satisfied by seeing my time go down or running this race, not necessarily because people, see me as a good runner or anything, just because for me, I know I'm competing against myself. And so I know what I have the potential to do. So, and like I said earlier about the 6-month thing, like I know if I don't go to the gym today, then I'm not setting myself up to be successful in 6 months. Or if I'm not putting in the work right now, I'm not going to be where I want to be. So that motivates me to do it, put in the work, whether it's in my career, put in the energy with my friends, the effort, to do things, to save money, to plan for the future. I'm very future oriented because I know it all starts right now with me. So that's kind of what gets me motivated. But I definitely have moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to like do this run today right now, because I know in the grand scheme of things, one day doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's for most of the days choosing to put yourself first and to go for your goals, because they're totally achievable. So I think people lose motivation when they think somewhere in, they have a thought somewhere that they really can't achieve it. But if anyone thinks that they are 100% capable of doing something, they totally are. They just have to put in the work.
Yeah, I definitely think it's mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just believing in yourself and thinking like, okay, well, this is a goal I have and I'm going to do everything in my power to accomplish it. I am totally like you in the aspect of very goal oriented and looking ahead. And that's kind of inspirational for me as well, because I think it's really important to have goals and to continue bettering yourself. And that it gives you purpose, and it kind of just setting goals, I feel like, is very good for you to continue accomplishing more goals, even more and more goals. And by doing this, you can accomplish things that you probably never even imagined were possible, just because you have this mindset of always wanting to learn, always want to engage, meet new people. I think it's very important not to be small-minded, but to kind of open your horizons. And even if you don't think that you'll get anything out of something, kind of just like trying to learn and listen, because I guarantee you that you definitely can learn something from every single person. And that's why I am so eager to learn, because I know that I don't know it all. And by talking to other people, I'm able to kind of get a better like perspective on all different areas of the world, even if it's not particularly the major I am studying or just anything like that. I think it's always awesome to get new insight and knowledge on different things.
And going off of what you just said, I think writing things down is important, because you can have so many goals and so many plans and so many dreams. But if you don't write it down, I feel like writing down just makes everything so much more real when you write it down, because you're like, okay, it's right there. I have to do it. And not even necessarily have to do it, but it helps you to visualize things. I make vision boards all the time of like all the things that I want for my life. I use Pinterest, to pin everything. And it just gets you so excited. And that's why I love the food Instagram that I have, not necessarily for posting for other people to see it, but because I absorb all of this positive motivational content. I see people, I follow Earthy Andy. She is a Hawaiian mom who has adorable blonde babies, and they are all vegan and gluten free, and they go to the ocean. And I just like love seeing their lifestyle, which makes me want to eat all of these pineapple smoothies. And I see my friends going on runs, which makes me want to go on a run. Or I see my friends setting up their room looking all adorable, so then I get inspiration in my own life. And I think motivation really just stems from the people you surround yourself with too, because your whole entire life and all the people in it should inspire you to be a better person and to be the best version of you.
Awesome. Definitely. I think the people you surround you with can either positively or negatively affect you.
Mm-hmm.
I think surrounding yourself with the right people can make the entire difference. And for me personally, I don't really think that I feel it's more quality over quantity. I think that having like a group of friends that you can really trust with everything is more important than having people that may not really believe in you or just really be there for you. And you can kind of tell when someone's there for you and when someone's not. So I think surrounding yourself with the right people, understanding that you're on your own path, and knowing that nobody has it all figured out. So
Oh,
I
yes.
think
Nobody has it all figured out. Nope. Even if they make it seem like they do, they definitely don't.
yeah, even like, I don't know, sometimes it can be intimidating for people to see like celebrities or public figures that may have this really large following, and people may assume that they have the most perfect life and that they have no problems. But I don't know, I kind of take that with a grain of salt, because I know that not everyone has it figured out, and they definitely have problems too, just like everyone else, because we're all human.
Oh, right. I mean, I am an influencer, and I do not post like my entire life on my Instagram. I don't post, my meals that look ugly on a napkin. I don't post that I'm like rushing, home to do a meeting. There are things in my life that I don't share just because I don't have the time. So I'm totally aware that half of what Instagram is a highlight reel. I mean, people don't want to see, I mean, when someone posts something sad, people are like, why did she just post that? Because it's not positive content that they want to absorb. But at the same time, it's giving a false reality because some people aren't as perfect as they seem. I mean, even my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, like your Memphis life is so amazing and perfect. I'm like, it's not all amazing. Like, I don't, I mean, I just started a job. I transitioned, I moved during a pandemic and I didn't know anyone here. And I'm like trying to figure it out. And they're like, no, but like you have, a job and like this and that. And I'm like, okay, but
Yeah, no.
it's still, I mean, nobody's going to post everything of every day because I mean, not necessarily something that they want other people to see. Like nobody's going to post their breakdowns and the sad moments. They'll share it with a friend who's close to them, but not necessarily with the world to see.
Exactly. Totally. That's so true. And lastly, how do you not let the opinions of others affect your decisions?
I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, and I definitely used to be somebody who really cared what other people thought of her. Definitely having the food Instagram has helped a lot with that because I do have a platform where other people are constantly looking at what I'm doing. So that's helped a lot. But I think being confident in myself, more importantly than anything else, has had the biggest impact on me not letting others' opinions get to me just because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I stand for and what I'm doing. So it almost doesn't matter to me what
Mhm.
other people think because probably if they have something negative to say, they're not in my life. So, I mean, their opinions don't matter. But I mean, like I said, just knowing, okay, this is for me and this is not for anyone else. And I share things on my social media that I enjoy and I have passions and I know what kind of person I am. I know what kind of friend I am. I know what kind of daughter I am. So it doesn't matter to me what I do and what other people think because it doesn't have any impact on their life. So I don't know why they should care. Now, I do think that opinions from close friends and family matter. So, I mean, it's a good thing to get their opinion on, should I do this or have them weigh in on situations maybe you're not thinking so clearly on. Sometimes people can get wrapped up in the moment and think one way, but then someone who's unbiased and seeing it from an outside perspective, maybe their perspective is a little bit more 2020 than yours. So I think that's a good way to kind of like listen in on opinions, but you should never let somebody determine what you do and what you don't do if you want to do something.
I
I
think
mean, obviously, if your safety is like at risk or your mental health is at risk, I mean, you can definitely listen and take input from other people. But I think at the end of the day, it's your life. You're the one, there's a quote, it's like, you're the one that's going to have to be with you forever. So only do things that make you happy. It doesn't matter what anyone else says because it's your life. And if someone has an issue with it or you're perceived one way, I mean, in 5 years, 10 years, I always say do like the 5 month, the 5 years, the 50 years, like nobody's going to remember. No, nobody remembers.
right. I think it's so important to kind of know your worth, like what you were saying. If you know your worth, you're not going to let opinions get to you because you're just going to know who you are as a person within. And these people who are saying these things about you don't necessarily know everything about you, probably. So they're just kind of judging you based on what they perceive, but what they perceive is not reality. Reality is what you believe yourself because you're your own person and you're making these decisions for yourself. And I also believe that um, going along with that, nobody has it figured out. It's always okay to ask for opinions.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that you should ask for opinions from the people that you would take advice from, you know what I mean? Not just the people, because if you listen to everyone's opinion, you're never going to do what you want to do. So,
Right.
listening, kind of taking people's opinions is great, but only if they're going to benefit you in some way.
Yeah, and it's also not even just about listening to others' opinions and what they're saying. It's also about perceiving situations. So, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm being rejected because I didn't get this job, or oh, I like this person and they don't like me back, and just take things so personally. But it's not personal at all. And that's something, I mean, when I figured that out, that like cracked the entire code of the world for me because you make your own self upset just by thinking negatively about things. Or if you know your self-worth, then someone not liking you back, oh, that's not a reflection of me,
Mhm.
has nothing to do with me.